I'm Josh.
I'm James.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Dan.
We're the Ragamuffins, and this is the ultimate 2000 Trees preview.
Yeah, boy.
So we were actually asked at Download Festival this year what our favourite festival that we go to is. And I think collectively it is
2000
Trees. This is, I think, collectively between us, our fourth year going together. And every year it's one that we mark out in the calendar. It's just such a great environment, a great community. I think, as we've said before anyway, take the lineup out of it, and it's the best festival to go to easily. And then when you have a banging lineup there, it just makes it even better. So phenomenally well organised and unique. So if you haven't been to Trees before, you're missing out. If you know about Trees, you know.
It's one of those things as well where the festival blatantly respects the customer, so therefore the customer respects the festival. Perks such as that you can set your tent up before you've even got your festival wristband. You can take beers into the main arena and just all that sort of thing. Little acoustic sessions on little mini stages within the campsite. It is an absolute dream. I could reel on and on, but really it is something special. We love it. And I am so excited for it, and I've also been so excited to do this preview because fuck me, boys, they have booked an absolute blinder. I'm so excited. Speaking
of mini sets around camp, keep an eye on our socials because there may be a special DJ performance coming from someone in particular. So we will let people know about that.
DJ Flatfoot will let you know.
It's just a friend of ours. Yeah, you know.
So you have the early day of the Wednesday, the optional extra. Always good fun. We have silent disco in the evening in the forest, which is just barrels of laughs.
It's always just class seeing full band sets in the forest.
Exactly.
There's something really special about that stage.
So we have that. We've got the word tent as well. We've got some sets going back and forth. Starting the day in that forest as well, in particular with Haggard Cat, which is like a tree staple at this point.
One of my favourite Trees memories was we were walking back from the forest.
Yep.
Midnight. No, it was after the silent disco.
It was
wasn't
two.
It was 2 o'clock in the morning.
AM,
and then we could just hear some live drums kicking away, and then we get closer, and in a tiny little tent, even smaller than the word tent, there's Haggard Cat just smashing out a set in the campsite.
Haggard Cat are fucking awesome. If you were a fan of back in the day, Heck, otherwise also known as Baby Godzilla, and Hawk Eyes. Now that's a real throwback. Both of them, the lead guy was in Baby Godzilla, and then the drummer was in Hawk Eyes. And Haggard Cat is just top tier, two piece, punky goodness, and it really gets the place moving.
Because I was in the other, what was the band that they called it?
Palm Reader.
That was
it. Was
it.
In Palm
yeah,
Reader.
it was in
I
Palm
think the
Reader
drummer
as well.
was also in Heck.
Yeah?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Not sure.
Let us
Quite
know.
right.
I don't actually
Don't
know. It moves on from a very strong start of Haggard Cat into friends of the podcast,
Yes.
Yeah.
Blank Atlas.
Can't wait to see them again. That's going to be really fun. We know that they're big fans of Trees as well. We saw them on the new stage last year, I think.
It was something like 11 a.m.
Yeah.
And that
They were the
tent
first
was,
band on that stage,
full.
and it was really full.
They were having a great time.
Yeah.
We were having a great time.
Yeah.
It was just, we love to see stuff like that. What I love about that band as well is that, yes, Prestamiko are no more, and now we have this fantastic iteration of them in Unpeople. But in my opinion, it's like Blank Atlas are the ones who kind of pick the torch up from what the heck Prestamiko were doing, which was quite unique, by the way.
Yeah.
And they've sort of literally passed the torch on, and I wish them all the successes. And really looking forward to that one.
We'll be at that set for sure.
Hell of fun.
I mean, they self-describe as being influenced by McFly and Meshuggah, in equal parts, which is probably the best way to describe their band. It's crazy, chunky riffs, but then massive, almost pop choruses at times. It's a really, really fun band. I think we can't also overstate how exciting it is to be able to see a lot of these bands on the stages that they have on these 2 days, the Forest and the Word stage, because a lot of these bands will be playing probably standard sets throughout the main weekend anyway, but as just a little sort of Brucey bonus for the early entry days to be able to see them on a stage in a forest, which it is what it is. I'm not there's no bullshit about it. It's just a stage in amongst the trees, and it's fucking crazy. And then the word stage is usually reserved for like
comedians,
podcasts, like maybe like a quiz or some bingo. But then on the Thursday, they're just like the Wednesday, sorry, they're just like, yeah, fuck it, just put a full band on and let people go bananas.
I mean, what Blank Atlas haven't told us is they are actually just doing a podcast rather than.
Could you imagine? Guffcast Live.
Yeah. The next band I'll be seeing that day is a band called Buds. Last year, the guy from Buds, I saw him around. He'd stay for the rest of the festival. He was spin kicking so much in the pits that I would watch him, and he'd literally stand there because he started getting dizzy. It was quite a sight to behold. I respect it.
Buds are before you carry on, sorry, Josh. Buds are another band that, like Blank Atlas, we saw on the new stage, and the same as Blank Atlas, you could just see them having a really good time and really being in awe at the reception they were getting from the crowd. So yeah, again, really excited to see them return.
They're good. It's like a sort of like a almost like a in a nice way, like a scrappy like indie punk situation. Yeah. And you'll think I'm taking the piss because their name is Buds, but they actually really remind me of another UK band called Suds, who coincidentally are headlining a all-day festival at a brewery in Kent that a band called Worst Wishes are playing on the 23rd of August. So it's a free festival. Come on down. It should be a really good day, and it's being headlined by Suds.
Info and description for this as well.
Cool. Just had to get that in there. Thank you.
I mean, we're about to go on to another band in a second as well, but what you're seeing here already in these three bands we talked about is what we can kind of class as 2000 Trees bands. Mm-hmm. That kind of, it's not necessarily an exclusive club of bands, but there are those bands in particular that you can just pick out and be like, they suit Trees, they fit the vibe, the way everything is there. And Haggard Cat, Blank Atlas, Buds, we've all seen there before. We saw Prestamiko, and we also saw the birth of Unpeople at Trees, and
we did.
Here they are again.
Yeah, we saw the death of Prestamiko and the birth of Unpeople in one weekend, I think.
God, life's relentless.
Speaking of Unpeople in the Forest,
this is bonkers. I mean, that band is like just strength to strength every single time we see them. Is a bigger crowd and a better crowd and a louder crowd, and so it's almost going to be strange for them to sort of shrink back down to just the size of the Forest for an evening or for an afternoon, because I think that place is going to become feral when that band starts. Like it's hard to put into words if you've not been, but 2000 Trees has a very specific and very sort of like quite tangible community that like you don't really get because of the scale of download. It's just so many people there. It's so big. Whereas 2000 Trees feels very homely in a weird way as a festival.
And I feel like everyone is there for the music.
Yeah,
everyone's there
exactly.
because they love the bands.
And so I feel like the bands that play it and the bands that become sort of treesy bands, I feel like they do stuff like this just for the love of the game, basically. Because Unpeople could quite easily just play in the main bulk of the weekend on like the Cave or the Axiom, or probably even early on like the main stage as like one of the earlier slots, and be happy with that. But like to get into that environment where the Forest is just like just letting loose is really fun to see a band like do that, basically.
Hell yeah. I'm going from strength to strength, because in the word stage next is a band that I caught last year with Glenny called Other Half. Now they are a band that I would say it's like art punk, really, and it kind of fits in its own thing. It's tough to really sort of contrast them with anybody, but if you like sort of maybe like, you know, the band Squid, if you wanted like a bit, maybe a little bit less complex and a little bit of like a sort of like darker, more brooding vibe, maybe a few little bits of tongue-in-cheek lyrics kind of sprinkled in, they're really cool, and I massively recommend them. Do you guys know a band called Blood Command? I'm sure you've heard of them.
I've heard the name before.
Yeah,
I know
I've heard them a few times.
They fucking rip. Like, I actually think this is going to go off in the Forest. Like, I think if people get warmed up in the way that it sort of sets the precedent with like how people are going to react to Unpeople, I think Blood Command, it's like just it's like peak metallic hardcore. And there is sometimes I'm going to sound like such a wanker, but if you really listen, it's kind of like synth underlaid quite a lot of it, I believe. And it kind of just really gives it that sort of edge that because I'm a hardcore fan, but I can tell you, you guys know, a lot of it just blends into one. This is cool. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. I think that will be, we could probably get some spin kicking in the forest, I reckon, during that set.
I'm sure Josh will be interested in seeing Panic Shack.
Yes. And do you know what? Sometimes in life, I see a gimmick and I'm like, gimmick. Nuh-uh. When they're there doing their choreographed jiu-jitsu dance, fucking brilliant. I love that. I think it's so funny. And I can't wait to see it again. Panic Shack, honestly, I love their sort of like stage. Antics might be a stretch, but like their whole vibe, silly vibes and fun, but also at the same time they still carry some like serious messages and stuff through the music as well. Classic punk stuff. Fucking brilliant. I love to see their trajectory, and I wish them like all the best. And it's going to be so much fun. But oh my god, some kings of crossover in the word stage.
This is going to be fucking silly. I think.
Did we see them at Trees last year?
Yeah, me and Josh, we saw them at Trees. We also saw them at Burn It Down as well.
They were one of my favourite sets at Burn It Down Festival. Yeah. I didn't really know a lot of their songs, but just the whole vibe and how much fun everyone was having in the crowd. Circle pits and like two-stepping throughout the whole set. Inflatable pizza, inflatable whatever else was there. It was just so much fun. And I'm excited to do it at Trees.
I just love the sort of like exposure they're getting when I'm pretty sure if I scrape the bottom of the Josh Barton memory banks, I'm pretty sure when they started out as Grove Street Families, it was like a half series project. I don't know if they ever intended it to like get to this point, and I love to see stuff like that. Weird fact, that's kind of like, I believe that's how like the Callistyle Boys kind of started. They kind of started almost like as a parody, and then basically he said on a podcast that they had to literally hold a meeting to work out who was there to do it seriously and like who was there because it's just funny, and they had to actually like, yeah. Then after Grove Street, Kid Kapichi.
Yes.
Now, do you know what? This is a really fun booking for Trees because there is actually a hell of a lot of other bands who are within this sort of like post-punk, crank wave like sphere. That I feel like if you're there for Kid Kapichi, keep on listening / watching because there's going to be a hell of a lot more that you'll probably really resonate with. But there's a lot of bands that sound like Kid Kapichi, but I feel that they just have that sort of slight edge because it's just done so well. Hot Milk, though, go for it.
Yeah, Hot Milk are there.
They are there.
Yeah. No, that's harsh on them. Like Hot Milk, their music has grown sort of away from the kind of stuff I like. But I've seen them live a few times.
Being good.
But I've seen them live a few times, and they do a good job. They're entertaining. I mean, and I think they're fair enough booking.
Sure, yeah. Listen, I'm lactose intolerant, so I can't go.
Well, I'm lactose tolerant, and this has to stay in, and that has to stay in, so that makes sense. Otherwise, you'll make me look stupid.
Okay, fair enough.
So, Hot Milk, I properly listened to today, right? I've been avoiding them for so long because I think the name is so bad. I think the logo is great, like the font thing. I think the name's so bad. I'll tell you this. I thought as like, if I was like their label, and as a package, if you looked at that band, like this sort of like perfect blend between alternative and like basically like driven pop, massive choruses, production up the fucking wazoo. I'm telling you now, yeah, I thought that they were an absolute like label's dream because they are probably like that gateway band. That band, I reckon Hot Milk is going to be cited as so many people's gateway into, they could support Bring Me the Horizon modern day, they could support Youngblood, they could support like Normandy and stuff like that, all in that sphere, because it honestly, in my opinion, it blends like high production pop and alternative music. I'm not saying metal or hardcore, I'm just saying alternative music I'm going to need to see them live because I need to know, but I actually thought it was quite good.
Has he sold it for you?
Well, what we do know for sure is the silent disco at Trees is an absolute party. Something we haven't done yet as a group is go to the silent disco live sets, which they've started doing. I think they first did them last year.
Yeah.
They had Snakes do
Snakes
one.
played, yeah.
Can't remember who else, But Wednesday night, the Excerts are doing a silent disco live set in the forest.
Okay.
And I love the Excerts. Another very much treesy band. So I think that'll be really fun. Basically, the concept is the band are playing on stage, but the instruments aren't plugged into a PA. It goes straight into whatever system they're using to go into the headphone channel. So you only hear it in your ears. And always like a rock band drum kit on the stage as well.
The silent disco, by the way, is... Let's talk about it now, while we're on the subject.
Let's get it out of the way. It's so much fun.
The most fun I think I've had, like, once the music's finished at a festival, is the 2003 silent disco every year. Because it's the perfect formula. Because you can be anywhere on the site. You can be dead in the middle of a crowd in a tent. You can be at your camp. You can be somewhere in between. Crowded, not crowded, whatever you want. You can be with your mates, but all be listening to something different. There is nothing quite like the thrill of, like, turning to someone and being like, Red Channel, you need to get on Red Channel right now for a prank. When it's a good song and you're like, get on Red Channel, you're going to love it. That's brilliant. But when it's Red Channel and I'm listening to Taylor Swift and I say, James, get on Red Channel right now. And he clicks and he goes, I live for it. It's my favourite thing in the world.
I just love as well.
I'm just never going to trust you now.
I think that is what sets it apart. Like, other silent discos just seem a little bit boring, but that's usually because they've only got one channel. So if they're playing a song you don't like, you're kind of just stuck. Whereas almost the competitive aspect of having up to 4 channels that you can choose from on one night at any time.
Yeah, because
makes it so much fun.
Because the problem with, like, as much as we love the Doghouse download, is that as soon as a DJ set dips in quality, the vibe can change. People can start sobering up quick, or just like losing their excitement for being out. Whereas I think with Trees, the amount of times that we've stayed out unintentionally till the end of the silent disco, just because the whole thing just like flies by because you're just having so much fun, basically constantly listening to something you like, is elite.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that we're there at an alternative music festival, and they pretty much always normally have a channel that's dedicated to like hardstyle and like jungle, and I'm just like sometimes like fuck yeah, like that's a bit of me actually. So yeah, no, it's so good. Shall we get into the Thursday then?
Let's do it. First proper day.
First proper day of music.
I think I speak for us all when we'll start at 9 a.m. for yoga in the forest.
Yeah.
But on real talk,
we're pushing 30 now, so you know.
Okay,
James and I are pushing 30 now.
Got a bit of.
And you two need to look after your backs.
Yeah, that's true.
Say that from us.
I'm too busy throwing mine back. But when I get to 30, I'll be throwing it out. Got a bit of a tough choice because on the new stage, actually, this is a fun thing. I did some homework on this before we did it and discovered some stuff that genuinely I didn't know about, and it was really fun. One of the bands was called San Dimas on the new stage at like 11:30 or so. What was so interesting about this band, it was kind of like rock or something. The vocalist reminded me of like Courtney LaPlante's Cleans. That was kind of what it gave me. So massively recommend them if you're not watching Youth Killed It, which I'm pretty sure from memory they very much had a Wonder Years vibe.
Okay.
So maybe somebody to check out.
Hello.
So there's a band called Grieving. This is maybe like a little bit of a reach. But Aaron West and the Roaring 20s.
Yeah,
maybe?
it's a little bit of a vibe.
Yeah. So I thought, yeah, that's a good one. Midday on the cave stage, you've got Grief Ritual.
That's where I'm looking at.
Hell yeah.
I'm there for that.
Do you guys remember seeing them at Burn It Down?
I do.
Yes.
I remember carnage, chaos, and fun.
It's like,
what more could you want?
wait,
Exactly.
fun? Grief Ritual were like super bleak. They were like,
Yeah, and I enjoyed that.
That is fun.
That's fun.
hell yeah. Okay. Different strokes for different folks. Hell yeah. One of the bands that I discovered today in my little discovery session off the lineup was a band playing the Axiom called Super Bloom. Now, you may or may not seen that shoegaze is having like a massive resurgence, and it's like being called like new gaze with bands like Oversize and Split Chain coming in and doing all their stuff. This one was like maybe a little bit more of a minimalist version of what we kind of like with those bands. But it was really cool, atmospheric, moody, and the production was great. I honestly had no idea who they were until today. Fuck me, you just don't damn straight. I'm going to be there at the Axiom checking out Super Bloom. I think everyone here would like them.
Man.
After that, there's a choice to be made.
Yes.
Do we go and see a band that we love and have seen many times before, Unpeople, playing at the main stage in what could be a really momentous moment for them? Or do we check out something that we haven't seen before, but we know we like, False Reality?
This is a tough one.
It's very tough.
Haven't decided yet.
Are they a hardcore band?
Yeah, man. I mean, the thing in the back of my mind is I hope I'm not wrong here, but I think False Reality are on the Burn It Down lineup.
I think you might be right.
So the saving grace there is that we can see them at that festival.
But also we would have just seen Unpeople the night before as well.
True. I guess it depends on... Because we've seen Unpeople a few times now.
It'll be a different vibe on the main stage.
Yeah, that's true. Depends how different the set is.
Choices to make.
Because obviously Unpeople currently have a kind of a limited number of songs out, so it depends if they might play The Forest and be like, here's just a bunch of new stuff you've never heard. They might not. It might be some sort of acoustic stripped back version. It might not. We don't really know. So I guess until we've seen The Forest set, I might not be able to make a decision here, but I could go either way. I see how the group falls on the day, I suppose.
I could maybe do both, I reckon, for that one.
Yeah,
That's
true.
The thing about Trees and the site layout is it is so easy to maneuver.
Yes.
You can be, and we've literally had it, you can be sat in camp thinking, fuck, I think that band's about to start.
You've been asleep in camp before.
Yeah.
when a band you want to see is about to start.
I wanted to see Witch Fever a few years ago, and you guys were like, Alex, we're going to go down to main stage and have Witch Fever, and I was like, go without me, I'm only just waking up. And I managed to get myself together, and be there by the end of the first song of the set. So it's that easy.
Well, you manage that. Some other people do just fall asleep and completely miss sets they want to go and see.
Chelsea Grin. Oh. Just before you get to that highlighted band that I know is right up your street, I just want to quickly say I checked out Dream Nails today as well. Really fun punk. I'm going to be checking them out on the Axiom stage as well after Super Bloom.
And speaking of missing bands that you really want to see, I want to see Snakes on the main stage last year. I went down to the main stage. Snakes were nowhere to be seen. So thankfully, they're back this year on the main stage. I'll be there.
Well, I've got Vexed highlighted at the same point here, and my pure reason is that I have just seen their name on so many different lineups, not had a chance to listen yet, but I feel like I need to just go and see what it's about. So educate me, Josh.
Calling it now. I reckon this will potentially be James's favourite set of the weekend.
Ooh,
yes.
Interesting.
So they are a female-fronted deathcore band. Her fucking harsh vocals are top tier. The cleans are top tier. Production high value. It is so good. Like Vexed are paving the way for like UK deathcore. They are going from strength to strength, and honestly, like they're probably an unmissable set of the weekend.
I'm sold. You sold me with female-fronted deathcore at the start, but this is okay. I'm hyped.
Hyphen are a band that I am told, I haven't listened to them properly yet, but I'm told that they're very similar to bands like Bob Villain and Soft Play in terms of sort of aggressive, politically driven punk. So I'll probably go and check them out, but I'll certainly be going to see something that feels a little bit left field, even for Trees. Big Special on the main sage. The album they released kind of late last year, I think it was. Or was it? Yeah, it was last year. Was really cool. They're kind of like spoken words, almost the Streets kind of vibes, but with like a little bit of punk in there as well. I think that's going to be a really fun set, and I'm really intrigued to see how it goes now.
Been seeing their name chucked around, right? I checked them out today and was like, literally, like, fucking hell, that is high quality music. Like that's some good shit. You are right though, actually. Interesting booking.
Yeah.
But fuck me, they are very good. Like that's a band that I could see myself doing a bit of a deep dive in.
Yeah.
If you know you like your Bears Den ish stuff, Chiller, it kind of has that vibe, kind of not. It's tough. It's tough to pinpoint. Just after Vex though, there's a choice. The band Puppy, who have been around for a while, they're cool. It's hard to sort of grasp quite where they're at genre wise, but they put on a good show. Clashing with them, talking of the Streets, by the way, is another band called Good Health, Good Wealth. Now, I'm going to be real here. It is basically almost a carbon copy of The Streets, Mike Skinner. But instead of using like sort of like very simplistic beats, I'd actually say that what I found was that the instrumentation was almost like what Marabou State do. It's very like, hello, I'm going to just speak over this, and there's a problem at the Waitrose sort of thing. But I mean, it's.
I really hope that isn't an actual lyric, and you've just made that up off your dome.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. After that, I will not be seeing the Hunter because today I discovered a band called Love Letter. This has been such a fun preparation process because they basically were like La Dispute and Defeater rolled into one. Yeah. Sort of taking the best elements of both bands.
Sold to these two men.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And then, sorry,
Give you 14 of them right now.
I'm going off because next is on the Axiom. I have never seen this band. They've been around for so long, and I haven't seen them. DZ Death Rays. They, I completely forgot about them until they came up in the playlist today. And the song, their top song, I can't remember what it's called. She Works Her Hearts or something. It brought me right back to literally being about 14 years old. It was like, oh fuck yeah, that's going to be a real special set. I'll see you there. It's going to be really fun. They have that sort of like surf rock vibe, sort of like a bit of Darwin D's Waves. Sort of thing.
I've got a segue to get to Paris, but I know that kind of jumps the schedule a little bit.
Oh, sorry.
This is the segue, the Channel Tunnel.
I got to speak. Again, what's super fun with 2000 Trees is that the bookers definitely are for the people and for the bands, in the sense that they host final shows and they host reunion shows. It's kind of like a bit of a running theme. They have, at the same time as DZ Death Rays and Hyphen, on the Forest stage, you have Grumblebee's return. So
yeah, man.
If you are a fan of Lonely the Brave, then this is for you, because it's the vocalist of Lonely the Brave doing their stuff, and I believe this is their big return from being away from doing Grumblebee stuff for many years. So enjoy. After seeing Big Special, I'll be at the Forest Sessions checking out Battlesnake for the first time. Was supposed to see them at Download, couldn't get my act together. This is the thing, I listened to them today. They're like a 7-piece band. I think it might, just set me straight here, I think it might be some kind of like heavy metal parody thing, but it weirdly sounded good. So who fucking cares? And I reckon that could be a real fun time. Talking more about like bands who are in the Kid Kapichi sphere, Grade 2. I mean, I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but check out Grade 2 if you're not going to see the Thursday night headliner, Paris. Not headliner.
No.
Co-headliner. Sorry.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Josh, about music that sort of makes you feel like you were 14 again. Paris. Paris were one of those bands that were really coming up at the right time. And I'm not like super familiar with a lot of their more recent stuff. So I guess this set, and I guess the run up to Trees as well, would be a good chance for me to dip my toes back in. But I'm excited to actually hear a lot of the songs from that era of that band, because it was it's going to feel like a nice little nostalgia trip. And I never got to see them at the time. So yeah.
Speaking of nostalgia trips, Twin Atlantic. They've been at I don't think they were down. They missed them at Slam Dunk because of inevitable how Slam Dunk goes. Clash Central, just missing bands all over the place. But I'll see them at Trees. A very Treesy band. They've headlined the festival in the past. Nice to see them returning on the Axiom before the headlines for the evening.
If you're not seeing Twin Atlantic with Danny Boy over here, you can be checking out on the new stage Civic, where my Kid Kapichi fans are, because again, same bracket. And then I will be, you can come find me in the Forest, because I'll be watching, I'm sure I'll get hate for this, from Eurovision Song Contest fame, Bambi Thug. No. Bambi Thug is fucking awesome, and so far has eluded me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing it live. I think it's really cool. Very arty, and I'll be there.
Tricky one here, because I really enjoyed Stick to Your Guns every time I've seen them, and Let Loose in the Pit every time, but I feel like that kneecap set is just going to be something almost historical at this point.
Well, if they even get to play it at this point, if they don't get apprehended by some kind of...
I'll probably come and catch the end of Kneecap just to come and see it all. But
yeah, that's my plan as well.
I need to go to that Stitch Your Gun set. It's calling my name already.
I do. Yeah, I think that Kneecap set is going to be monumental. It's just a shame. It's just a real shame that they clash with Stitch Your Guns, because I've loved that band since I was a teenager. So.
And then as we get...
And then Silent Disco.
Silent Disco, we got a Dream State set.
Dream State
which I'm
Silent
very
Disco
much looking
set.
forward to that. That's going to be fun. That, again, a Trees band we've seen there a few times before. Always fun. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Do you know what? I've just seen here as well. There's a really great band on Big Scary Monsters called Orchards, who are probably one of the best bands in the whole world for blending math rock and pop. So we'll be checking them out in Camp Turner before we probably go into Silent Disco, and then after that, again, Sam Dimas will probably be doing acoustic. So maybe if I miss it in their main set, I can catch them acoustically, which actually could be better. So we'll see.
Of course, we'll have the unofficial campsite stages as well, which will have music on throughout the evening. So that'll be fun. That's something to keep an eye out for.
Also, if it seems like we're being maybe a bit overexcited about all these bands that we could be seeing, and you're sat there thinking, "There's no way you'll be seeing all these bands," you're wrong.
It's possible.
Easy Trees.
Easy
The
Treesy.
thing that another great thing about Trees, if you can believe it,
Another thing
is I talked earlier about the sort of the site layout, but also the way that the set times operate. So you have like the main stage, and right next to it is the new stage, which is the smallest stage within like the main arena. Basically, is the home to up and coming bands, really, and it's perfect because as the crowd leaves the end of a main stage set, they have to walk past the new stage to get back to either camp or the rest of the arena. So you're basically sort of forcing people to have to listen to the new generation of bands that are coming through that Trees are putting on. And more often than not, by the time you're walking past, the tent's probably already full because people are going, "That sounds fucking sick. I want to know what's going on in there." And then with the Cave and the Axiom, they always run sort of one on, one off. So you can literally be watching a band, as soon as they finish, maybe...
It's the official sound.
How many paces do you reckon?
2.
2 paces from Axiom to Cave.
2 big ones.
It's got long legs.
2 big ones. So
2 leaps.
if you're going, you're thinking, "Oh fuck, I want to see so many bands." Chances are you probably will see most of them because it is easy treesy.
We're right to go to Friday now?
Yeah,
boy.
Speaking of that new stage, Fail State are kicking things off on there.
Yeah! We saw them supporting Blank Atlas, got to talking. I reckon it's kind of on the cards that Fail State, Worst Wishes will play a show at some point. We honestly think you guys are great. We will try our absolute damnedest to be at that
10.
Yeah. No. Honestly, for them, I'd
make that trip.
Of course.
I'd make that trip for
They're
sure.
really good. Their recent cover of Tattoos, was it All the Things? Yeah, that's banging. No, they're really cool. For real, like their vibe is sort of like that sort of like slacker, sort of grunge emo. It just sort of ticks all the boxes of what we love. And watch this space because we want to work with them. So yeah. And then again, my Kid Kapichi people, after them on the Cave stage is a band called Clobber, and it's all within the same realm. I think, you'll love them. I'll be seeing Split Dogs on the new stage next. They were cool. I think I've overloaded myself today because I just remember thinking, these are cool, and then having to move on to the next one. But then, all right, this is when we get to a brutal clash. 2 bands that I've listened to for the first time today. Both massively impressed me. One of them, I think, is maybe impressed me the absolute most, and it is a band called Eville. Spelled Eville. What made me so happy about it was that they basically had like breakbeat and like metal hardcore-y stuff all mixed into one, and I was like, fucking hell, where have you been all my life?
That sounds fun.
I will be checking that out on the Cave, and Jesus Christ, I think when I'm driving off from this podcast, it's going to be them who I bang on to. I want to know every song inside and out. That was really cool. They're clashing on the main stage though with a band called Jules. That's JOOLS. Right. they sounded like a more political, bit more heavier, bit more progressive Block Party. Yeah.
Look at his eye. Look.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think check that out.
So I think you'll be there, and then all the breakbeat lovers will be at It'll be a real shame if like I get super stoked then listen to all the other and they don't do that. It was maybe just a one-time thing, but it fucking out. Well, to be honest with you, if you know any other bands that like specifically have like a lot of breakbeat, like please let me know, because I love that stuff. There's a bit of a brutal clash after that, where I think I would love to see Coheed and Cambria acoustic in the Forest, but I cannot miss seeing, for me, the first time at the Axiom, Oversize.
Yeah, boy.
We'll be joining you there.
If you are a lover of this new wave of shoegaze and stuff, oh my god, it's a no-brainer. They're so good, so good.
Just a very sort of lush, warm, like all-encompassing sound is what it's like listening to that band. It feels very like.
It sounded like you were about
way.
to describe an M&S dessert.
Well, just like a nice
warm.
bath.
Yeah. Oh. But yeah, Oversize are great.
Oversize.
If you like your shoegaze and sort of 90s grunge mixed in, like it's there. It's really cool. They're a very exciting band.
Which of you have I heard speak about Kayanashi before?
Me all the time.
Yeah.
I remember you sending some stuff over to me, and like me putting it on, and it's like the way I've described it to other people is like, who listen to heavy music, like, oh, people find like Brian Garris's vocals, his highs, like sometimes too much. It's like, if you find that too much, listen to these guys.
If you grew up watching SpongeBob and loved SpongeBob High Tombra, you'll love Kayanashi. Kayanashi is so fucking cool. Like, what's really interesting is that a lot of the songs, they have built their own sort of like storyline and narrative of all these like characters, and like it tells the story of these characters. And I haven't delved deep into that lore, but apparently like there's people on like their Discord and Reddit who literally like map the whole thing. And like if you wanted to do like, if you wanted like a new obsession that wasn't about Hosier being Sleep Tokens man, then have a little look at that. But honestly, like I genuinely think that maybe if they wanted to, they could be the next Knox Loose, but I don't know if that will happen because it is just like quite a lot.
Jarring.
Yeah, but in
people.
the best way possible, because I'm a lover of like frenzy and mathcore stuff. I am always trying to find the next thing that's like people channeling like the Dillinger Escape Plan vibes, and I feel like they're doing great. And I think Peter, the lead, they have like a lot of like live pedals. It's like kind of like like Simon Neil in
Biffy.
Empire
State Bastard vibes. And I'm really excited to see that live. How you sort of be that front person for like your mathcore band, but also at the same time find that moment, the right moments to do your stuff. I cannot wait. That's one of my most anticipated sets.
I'm really intrigued for that in particular. After like bits and pieces I've heard from it, I kind of want to just see how that's going to sound live, and if it will translate well. Because there's like the old band that I've had over time where it's like really listened to it, enjoyed it, and I'm like, okay, but is it going to translate live well? Like I remember that I Burnt It Down seeing 1056 last year. That was one that blew me away, and so I'm kind of like trying to keep expectations reserved for this set, but I'm really, really intrigued and excited to see if it can live up to those expectations.
Next up, another slightly left field booking for Trees is a band called Kegs.
Yeah.
Who I've seen play in Truck in Oxford, and they're really fun. Josh has already compared the band to sound like a Squid. This is another comparison that makes sense. They sound like, I'd say, a slightly more accessible version of Squid.
Yeah,
and maybe slightly darker in the theming of their songs as well. They use trumpets as well and trombone.
Love that.
What more could you want?
If you like that sort of like Black Country New Road vibe,
sure.
I think they reminded me a little bit of bands like the Uranium Club and Walt Disco, stuff like that. Like, honestly, really fun. I love that brass is making such a resurgence as well in sort of like contemporary music. Oh, Opus Kink as well, who again I think is one of the most underrated bands in the country right now. I think they'll have their day. Yeah. Now, I also see that they're clashing with a band called Youth Fountain. And now I'm stressing because I think they might also sound like the Wonder Years. I don't know, there was another band called Youth Killed It earlier. And sure there's not two bands that sound like the Wonder Years with Youth in the name.
Yeah, I haven't listened to Youth Fountain for a long time. But yeah, they're very much like that standard emo pop punk kind of vibe. So maybe I'll catch like half and half of these two. But Keg for sure, I think, are the most intriguing out of the two.
It's so much fun at Trees that we're going to go from like a chaotic like mathcore band into like the polar opposite of like some people call this genre crank wave, which I'm so sad it's caught on because it just makes you sound like a wanker. But like, and we're going to go into that, and it's just like such fun in it. But to be honest with you, I think I speak for us all, and we'll probably be at the main stage next, seeing a band called Oil. That's not funny. No. I regret it. Sorry. Basic.
James, tell us about Black Gold.
This is some modern new metal. Again, you're kind of like talking there about jumping from genre to genre to genre, and that's something that you can get with Trees being so diverse. A really fun, energetic band. I want to say I've seen them twice now. Discovered them a couple of years ago. I remember like me and Ruben were just kind of wandering around, had a bit of gap in the schedule. We saw them and like, oh shit, this is fucking good. And then saw them at Burn It Down last year where they played a phenomenal set. Started listening to them more since then. They've put out a couple of new releases recently. So new music incoming. They've had some great spots on support tours when Skindred did their arena tour. Yeah, really, really fun new metal, kind of leading the way in the UK scene for that in particular.
With some hip hop influence in there as well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, really, really fun, really enjoyable. Gonna be really sick to see them on main stage, actually, in particular. I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Take it away, Josh.
So there's a band called Thank on the new stage who signed to Big Scary Monsters. They sort of have that sort of like Ditz, Heavy Lungs, Lice sort of vibe. Really cool. And it would be great to see them. But the only thing is that it won't be on this occasion that I'll be watching them. Hell no. Heck no. You could be the best band ever. It don't matter. Because I will be there at the front of the Axiom stage for Hail the Sun. Now, you are probably sick to death of me. Hail the Sun, most underrated band in the whole world. I don't say that lightly. I genuinely think that they do not get the kudos that they deserve. I'm not being funny. Like, it is probably my most anticipated set of the weekend. I cannot wait. I think they're up there in like my favourite bands. Hail the Sun, get to fucking know they are so good. They are within the Swan core sphere, you know, the post-hardcore with super high register vocals. Weirdly enough, when I've watched live footage, he sounds better while he's singing behind the drum kit. Because I think sometimes he's out at the front, sometimes he goes behind the drums. I don't know. Weird. But fucking hell, if you wanted to do a fat deep dive of a band, listen to them, because I don't think they have a bad song in my opinion, and they got a lot, so that says something.
I remember I can't remember which one it was. The album with the skeletons on the cover.
Yeah.
I remember you recommend that a long time ago and giving it a listen and really enjoying it. And then recently I've had my friend Tiger play it incessantly of all different songs, and it's really actually genuinely got me into it. And this is a set I'm really intrigued to see and to, again, hear it live and see what it's like. And knowing like the drum, he's a drummer and a singer. The drummer is also the singer. Yeah, I'm really intrigued to see how that's going to be performed live. And like you're saying there, I did not know that if he's going to go back and forth behind the kit. I'm ready to see this.
I don't know if you guys know Julia Wolf or Thank, but if I could ask any of you, please watch that Hail the Sunset with me. It would actually be really special, I think.
I'm there.
Sweet,
I'm there. I'm there.
Turns
Straight from Black Gold to Hail the Sun.
Actually my favourite band. So,
Thank are the most underrated. We listened to Coil Guns in the car not long enough to know, but we were talking, and then we kind of like stopped talking because we were like, turn it up, like, hark, this is cool. My first hark of the podcast. That's pretty good going.
Surprised it took this long.
Quite late in, yeah.
Next up on the Axiom stage, this is going to sound like I just say this stuff normally, but please believe me, is one of my favourite bands, who I again think is incredibly, they've been around for so long. I do think they do not get the recognition they deserve, and that is a band called Delta Sleep. They are like pinnacle British math rock. Their songs vary between some of their earlier stuff was like really jarring, like kind of in your face, not easy listening, and then some of the stuff they release nowadays, fuck me, brewing your favourite coffee, grabbing a nice book, and just putting Delta Sleep on, like new Delta Sleep on, sitting next to like a house plant and having a cat on your lap. I'm not being funny. That's peak living. Give it a try. Let us know how you find it. You know, and if you're not into coffee, like, you know, a nice souchong tea.
Oh, we haven't got a cat.
If you don't have a cat.
If you don't like it, put the cat back outside.
Yeah. If you don't have a cat, I don't know, adopt a cat.
All right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's the message.
If you're allergic to cats, like I am, just pop a Pirates, not Piriton, makes you too drowsy. But that's very relevant to the Ragamuffin Music Podcast.
Cats.
You're teasing me with a good time, Josh.
Hasn't been the first time. Go on, I know where this is going. Back to business.
Where we're going is to the main stage to see the return of Trash Boat.
Yeah.
They've had a little hiatus, a little break. Very excited to see them return. There's not much else to say about that, really.
If you're not watching that triumphant return, D Spitz on The Cave will be really cool. Just great driven punk, basically. But I won't be seeing it because I'll be there watching that triumphant return. Maybe another day.
As soon as that was announced, like immediate excitement for me seeing Trash Boat back. Very, very happy and very welcome. And I think it's going to be one of the highlights of the day.
But it's going to be competing for the highlight of the day against a lad dispute in the forest.
In the forest.
In the forest.
My fucking God. Okay. So trees have absolutely blessed us. Well, they blessed us for one thing when I first saw Lad Dispute as a booking on this lineup, and then spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, we'll see Lad Dispute once on this lineup, won't we? We're going to see them at one point over the weekend. No, we won't.
Yeah. Right, I knew they were doing 2 sets. I didn't realise that one of them was in the forest.
There we go.
That is fucking awesome. That is brilliant. What a booking. To be honest with you, to me, it is a no-brainer for me. But if you wanted alternatives, on the Axiom, you've got Cloud Nothings, which, don't quote me on this, but I don't know if that band have now come back from a really long hiatus or something. They are like, they have surf rock elements, but it's like really progressive. It's unlike any, it's tough to, maybe like, And You Will Know Us by the Trail of the Dead or like Meat Wave, stuff like that. Yeah. But also a discovery today when Venus Girls, written like Riot Girl. Yeah.
Venus Girls.
The vocals are slick and fucking awesome. You know, I will keep an eye on that band and I'll check them out another time because I'm not missing that Lad Dispute set. You'll?
Obviously, Graphic Nature is going to be awesome, but Fiddler on the main stage.
Fuck it, dog. Life's a risk. Fiddler have eluded me. They have a special place in my heart. It reminds me of being at college. And they, again, surf vibes, basically. They've really gone... There's like a lot of archetypes that they kind of gone down here. It's great. Yeah, I love Graphic Nature. Big up to Harvey and the crew. But it's Fiddler all day long for me on this one.
I'm going to have to be at that Graphic Nature set. I have to be there. That's going to be...
You're contractually obliged.
I'm contractually obliged, but it's going to be utter fucking carnage in there. A band that it feels like every time you see them live, they just continually get better, and you're still left wondering, like, you see them, it's like, yeah, okay, that's the best time, that they can't ever top that, and then you see them again, and it's like, well, they fucking done it.
Well, what's great is just the example here of, like, I think the first time they played Trees, they're on the new stage. They've played, I think, Lower Down on the Cave in the past as well.
Oh yeah, they were.
And this time they're like early evening on the Cave.
Third from top.
Yeah,
Climbing.
The progress of just climbing that ladder.
Amazing. They're a real late notice replacement for Witch Fever, I believe, that time. Yeah.
I mean, if for whatever reason, by the way, you're late to the Graphic Nature party, they're part of that sort of new core scene that's going on right now. That's basically taking the best of metalcore, the best of new metal, fucking melding
Put
it
it in a
into
blender.
one. I mean, all of their stuff is just super high energy, aggressive, heavy with some like drum and bass elements sort of sprinkled throughout, just for a little bit of mixing it up. But they're just fantastic. They're one of maybe the easiest band to mosh to if you don't even know one single note before you go to that set. So there you go.
Check out our perfect gig with Harvey as well on the channel. After
seeing Fiddler, I will be at McCluskey, which I've luckily seen twice before.
They've been away for a while as well, right?
I think it was a few years back, maybe pre-COVID. They finally got back together, and it's really fun because they got back together with the guy Damien from the St. Pierre Snake Invasion. Gotcha. And what's really fun is that I'm really skipping ahead here, but they've got McCluskey booked in and they've got Future of the Left booked in, which basically I believe the main guy for each is sort of, and I think that's what such a testament of Trees. They just get it because that's what the people want. If you like one of those bands, the high chances you like the other one. Anyway, Future of the Left, you listen to them and you can see how much it influenced the St. Pierre Snake Invasion. And I just love stories like that when they basically get the person in anyway. Also, if you don't want to see McCluskey, Benefits on the new stage, it sounded again like spoken word, sort of like Mike Skinner stuff.
This is the sad part here, because you've talked a lot about Coheed in Cambria, and there was a part of me that was like, okay, I'm intrigued to go and see it, but they clash with Frontier on the Cave. Now, I remember you mentioning them a long time ago, and we saw them early this year, our first gig of the year, supporting Better Lovers, and I think both of us are pretty fucking blown away with how good they were. So I am making a fucking beeline for the Cave for that. Getting a great spot. They were absolutely phenomenal live. I haven't listened to them as much as I would have liked since, but I can still see that name. I can throw back to that set right at the start of the year, probably the second set I saw this year, and phenomenal memories. Incredibly good live band.
So you may have remembered earlier when I was talking about like Hayanashi and stuff being that sort of like mathcore stuff inspired by the Dillinger Escape Plan. Frontiera like sort of took that and just fucking ran with it. Literally, it's quite. It's not easy listening, but it's good listening.
Fucking good listening.
I sadly won't be at that set. I think that is probably one of my worst clashes for this festival because I will be at Coheed in Cambria. I've banged on about them before. At Download, when I saw them headline, what's the second tent called?
You saw them in Avalanche, I want to say.
When I saw Coheed headline the Avalanche at Download 2 years ago, for some reason I just didn't expect them to be as popular as they are. I think they have a massive following, and that was me being stupid. I just didn't know. And they have a massive following for a reason. Their music is really good. And also the stuff that surrounds it as well. Like, I think a lot of their stuff is that they'll write like a graphic novel or something. And then they sort of like, I don't know which way they do it. If they write the novel first and then make the music, or they make the music around it. But it's like one of those where there's like quite an expansive like lore aspect to it. And I think that's really fun because I think the music is good anyway. But then when you sort of add that stuff in, I think it's a really good booking. I think it'll be really well received, and I can't wait. I will say though, if you check them out and you're like, his vocals are weird, yeah, they're a little bit of an they are a little bit of an acquired taste. I can't deny that. But once you sort of like, I don't know, I think it works.
We've got the return of Million Dead on the Axiom, which is going to be very cool. Not really for me. Instead, I'll be seeing Witch Fever on the new stage.
Yeah,
boy.
Headlining that stage, I think?
Headlining, by the looks of it, yep. Sort of self-described as like doom punk, which I think pretty much hits the nail on the head. Very dark and atmospheric, very cool, with a lot of sort of poignant themes and lyrics that across their entire sort of discography. A new album, I think, is like imminent. I'm not sure when.
It feels like we may get a couple of new songs.
So yeah,
I would speculate.
Yeah, super excited for that set. I think it's going to be really fun. And then we're up to the headliners.
Now, I like a few Taking Back Sunday songs, but I've heard and seen from footage that they are one of the worst live bands around.
Damn.
So I've also heard the same.
I may go and just see a couple of songs and see for myself, but I'm probably going to be seeing Harriet for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I mean, the play here, I think, is Harriet's going to wrap up at about 10:30. which still gives us a good 25 minutes of Taking Back Sunday,
That might
during
be the
which
move.
they'll probably be playing Make Damn Sure and Keep It Out the E. So we'll get to hear those bangers at least. But Harriet, for me, being in the spot of headlining the Cave is
sort of the success
massive
story
for them.
for this band and this festival.
I love Harriet. I think they're great, but I have also seen footage of Matey Boy from Taking Back Sunday, like being terrible and like rolling around on stage rather than just playing the songs. I'm Louis Theroux. I'm going to take one for the team, and I'm going to watch the whole Taking Back Sunday set so I can actually give it like a proper. I'll review it.
Fair shake.
Yeah.
Very
I
generous.
wish you the best of luck, Josh.
Thanks, guys. Sorry,
He's
Harriet.
really falling on the sword.
It's
there.
gonna be there in a press vest and a helmet.
Right, this just in. Glenny was supposed to be here, but he's at a conference, the Gathering of the Juggalos, whoop whoop. So he wasn't able to come along and do this right now. But he has sent me a bunch of bullet points that he wants me to quickfire that he would have highlighted if he was here. You ready?
Go for it.
Most looking forward to Unpeople, Amazing Live, Blank Atlas, Lovely People, and Always Put on a Great Show, Graphic Nature. I will never miss them where possible. I'm wearing a Graphic Nature T-shirt right now while I write this. La Dispute, Emo Goodness, Fail State, also Emo Goodness. In brackets, please do a show swap with us. I echo that sentiment. Haggard Cat, impressive due to their energy and pure talent.
You sound exactly like him, by the way.
Yeah. Hey,
He's in the room.
I'm Glenny from Space Film.
The last day. Saturday.
Where are we starting, Josh? Lead us. Lead the way.
We follow in your footsteps.
All right. So
It's flat footsteps.
we will be.
I was thinking that as well.
Sorry,
I think we all were
sorry,
thinking
man.
that. We all were.
We'll be at the Cave, most likely, for a progressive and moody atmospheric band called Hidden Mothers. I don't really have too much to say after that because, again, another discovery I made today. Love rarely on the new stage afterwards.
Man, I've been telling you about those guys before. What do you mean you discovered them today?
Come on, Josh.
Ignoring the
Fuck.
links I'll send you.
It's all coming back now. He did send this to me. And do you know what I said?
Yeah.
Hey, man, this is like kind of like Dance Gavin Dance adjacent. And guess what I was just about to say? Exactly that. Sorry about that,
That's
bro.
okay.
You are so right.
I forgive you.
Oh, I feel embarrassed now. Got egg on my face.
No, I remember listening to them and being like, oh, this is a bit Josh. There's like mathcore elements. There's the like
Swancore.
swancore vocals and stuff as well.
Do you know where they're from, by the way?
Somewhere in the UK.
That's awesome. That reminds me, actually, check out a band called Blighttown if you're within the whole like Dance Gavin Dance sphere. I think.
Yeah, UK.
Yeah,
UK.
sweet. Sorry about that. Right.
That's okay. I'm glad you're excited for them.
I am actually, man. And
Me too.
after that, it'll be at the Cave for Last Hounds, which is
As
again.
will I.
Hmm?
As will I.
Oh, I thought you said that's a lie. I was like, no, brother, it's very true. Yeah, Last Hounds. They sort of again, the Kid Kapichi kind of vibe. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think there's a little bit of old school Lower Than Atlantis about them as well, I think.
Ooh, okay.
Which obviously perks my interest.
Yeah. After that, I will be checking a band out called Eyes that have this fucking sweet, like driven sort of almost a little bit power trip, a little bit like it was almost giving like Heck as well. I'm really looking forward to them on the Cave.
Well, it seems like Josh might be sort of cosplaying as a character from the film The Descent by staying in the cave most of the day. And I'll be joining you after
Hey, I
Eyes,
resent that.
for Love Is Noise.
Yeah.
boy.
I don't think I can talk positively about this band enough across this podcast. I think probably my favourite album of the year so far. They've just released 2 brand new singles as well that sort of tackle like each end of the scale of what their sound is at the moment and sort of expand it just a little bit. Just really great sort of driven, shoegazy at times, Loathe-esque, atmospheric, alternative rock basically. Such a great vibe. I haven't been able to see them live yet, so this will be my first time. So I'm really excited. I think they're just... If you don't know where to go on Saturday, as long as you're in the cave at 2:00, that's all you need to do, I think.
And I mean, straight after them, I'm sure we'll all be at Split Chain.
Hell yeah,
on
brother.
the Axiom.
Of course.
Brother.
Brother. Anxious on the Axiom. Been trying to catch these guys live for a while. New album this year, Bambi. Really good. Really good.
Yeah.
They're aligned with like a lot of like my music taste. So they're one of the bands I'm most excited to see, I think.
Yeah, they're sort of part of that new era of bands that would have grown up with like Title Fight and Basement and stuff, and basically like that sort of crossover between punk and emo and hardcore it's all there. Basically.
If you love your Hot Mulligan and your what's the other one? The same band but different name.
Yeah, I mean, if you fuck with Arm's Length, sort of One Step Closer, Hot Mulligan, Title Fight, all those sort of bands, One Step Closer is going to be right up your alley. This
absolutely blinder of a booking. So, as you probably heard from like our sort of recaps and the vlog, American Football was at 2003's last year was one of my favourite live performances of all time. Now, a band that sort of embodies the sort of overall feel of American Football is a band called Sparta. Now, they're one of these bands that, if I'm truthful, I kind of forget that they exist the majority of the time. Then when they come up in like an emo playlist or something like that, I'm like, this hits so good. Like, honestly, I don't think they're very well known in all. I think to the right people, like I think it's like a real special band. But if you wanted to, if American Football and the sort of the sadder sort of bigger stuff, honestly, they're not as like, this is tough to say. It's not as delicate as American Football. Like it's a little bit more driven. But fuck me, it's a fantastic booking and I can't wait. I think I'm really looking forward to that one. And then I'll be seeing Birds in Row and The Cave, who've always eluded me, so I'm really looking forward to that. They're a tough one to describe, to be honest with you. So if you're
they're kind of hardcore adjacent.
Yeah, if you're to embody old school Google and you're feeling lucky, go give them like a little bit of a try. I don't really know what I could describe of them.
I'm sort of quite open this day to a lot of free time, so gonna try and just see as much as I can, really. So I'll be checking out some Vukovi on main stage for a bit. Probably going to see Girl Band on the new stage as well, because it will be close by. But the next thing for me that is essential will be the second of 2 La Dispute sets at the Axiom this time.
Huh.
So I wonder in what way it may vary from the Forest set the day before. I don't know.
Time will tell.
After La Dispute, we'll be wandering over to the main stage.
Sorry, Dan. It will be no
sorry.
wander at all. We can sprinting as quick as I can, because it will be the Letlive reunion show.
Letlive.
Is that actually the one? Are they doing any tour dates before?
They're doing one other UK date.
Wow.
I believe. Maybe 2. 2 London dates, I think. Someone will fact check me in the comments, I'm sure.
So, yeah, basically, you might have heard of a little band called The Fever 333. Well, before that, there was Letlive. And they live again.
Thank fuck.
One last time.
It's going to be biblical, I think. I never got to see them live during the time that they were an active band. And I think The Black is Beautiful is up there as one of the greatest like hardcore punk albums of the modern generation. So to get the chance to see them live with how crazy we know that Jason can get on stage is going to be just... To me, and it's no disrespect to Alexis on Fire, but this is my personal headliner of the Saturday.
Oh, for sure.
It's the way that I plan to sort of put a bow on my weekend. Anything after this is going to be an extra added little Brucey bonus. But this is where I'll be probably conserving a lot of my energy throughout the day for this set. I think it's going to be fantastic.
After Letlive, I'm going to sprint between 2 bands. One called Black Foxes and the other one called Sprints.
I thought you were setting up a sprinting joke.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were just so casual about it.
Sprints I've seen before at Truck Festival. Really cool. I think they're Irish.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. They have some great choruses. And Black Foxes is again, we were trying to like pin it down, like what they kind of were like on it, and it's a vibe. I can't. That's
just a vibe.
Very elusive, but like, yeah, you're just gonna have to believe me. Yeah, yeah. Source, trust me, bro. Who are you gonna see though?
Well, at that point, I'm gonna go and watch a bit of As December Falls to go and check that out in the forest. But for me, you're saying like I'm looking forward to that Letlive set as well. But for me, then it comes to the headliner. I'm sorry, Alexis on Fire, but Imminence. I'm really excited. Like, saw it a bit in passing. Slam Dunk, that was it, and really enjoyed that set. And it was really like early in the day. Really enjoyed what I heard, but haven't delved into it as much. I know you've kind of been recommending it a bit more recently, I think. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that in the cave and really delving into it.
I mean, I only caught like the end of their last song at Slam Dunk, and they're a band that I've been trying to see for a while. So I'll have to at least see a bit of Imminence, but I feel like I need to see a bit of Alexis on Fire as well. I'm not like a huge fan of theirs, but obviously they've got some bangers. They're a pretty iconic band in terms of like this particular scene and this niche that kind of Trees has like a thumb over. So I think it's going to be one of those where I'm kind of flipping between the two, seeing a bit of both.
I'll say it, and I'll say it again. Imminence are going to be the next Architects. Like, mark my words. Like, they are on that trajectory, I think. Definitely. And this whole situation they've been doing with playing with like a what do they call it? Not an orchestra, but like a small...
A string quartet?
Some
quartet.
A string quartet.
Yeah, something like that. I think that stuff's wicked. Like,
that's not going in as a...
String quartet.
A string quartet.
Quartet.
Yeah, I think Imminence are going to be like, you know, potentially the next Architects, potentially like the next like Bad Omens or something. They're so good. I think, you know, a download, I caught Alexis on Fire for the first time and was like a bit far back and just watched the set. I think this time I'm going to be like, all right, final call. This is the last hurrah of this festival. I'm going to get in there and just lose my mind a little bit.
Should we maybe say the one band that we're most excited for across each day?
Ooh, each day.
To wrap it up, let's do that.
That's fun.
Anyone ready yet for Thursday?
Yeah.
Go on, James.
It's going to be that Stick to Your Gun set in the evening. I'm really, really looking forward to that. Great fun live before. Can't wait for it.
I genuinely think it might be Jesse Barnett's solo set on the Forest. Might be the one that I'm most excited for, just because it's going to be a chance for me that I probably might otherwise maybe never get to hear some of my favourite songs from his side project live. So, God, now I've got my hopes up. But yeah, that one for me.
Come on, Josh. Dan? Who's ready?
I just, in the meantime, on the Wednesday, I think Blood Command is the band I'm most excited to see.
Oh yeah, the Wednesday's Unpeople for me, by the way.
Oh God. Not prepared.
I think for me on the Thursday, it's probably DZ Death Rays.
I might go big special, you know.
Sick.
I think that could be a special set.
The Friday.
Friday is my day with some of my literal favourite bands on it, but it's going to be Hail the Sun. I mean, yeah.
There's a lot to choose from in here.
Friday for me is La Dispute in the Forest, no question.
I think
Final answer, Mr. Tarrant.
Don't want to phone a friend?
Nah.
Fair enough. I think for me on Friday, it's going to be Harriet closing out the cave. I think it's going to be monumental to see that band sort of set a little benchmark in their career thus far by playing that position. So I'm very excited.
I think it's going to be the Frontier set. Really enjoyed seeing them live and really, really looking forward to seeing that again.
Saturday.
It's
Letlive. I'll say no more.
Saturday, it's Letlive, but honourable mention to Lover's Noise, who I'll be seeing for the first time.
Yeah, boy.
I'm really excited to see Split Chain again.
Sick, man.
Didn't see him at Slam Dunk because of clashes, and then obviously that tent was fucked with timings. So I'm really looking forward to seeing them again.
I'm going to say La Dispute, then honourable mention Sparta, and then I'm going to be a bastard and go back to Friday and say honourable mention Kainashi.
Yeah,
And Delta
I'm looking
Sleep.
forward to that. Yeah.
Anything else you want to squeeze in?
Yeah. Worst Wishes recently released a music video for our song "If I Don't Wake Up." Could you please head on over to YouTube and give it a watch, give it a like, give it a little comment.
If you're watching this on YouTube, we'll put a link.
Thank you.
Link in description. And that's the big ass preview of 2000 Trees
That's
2025.
it. Yeah, it's not long to go now. If you want to re-experience some of the magic from previous years, we've got a bunch of vlogs on the channel. And if you've never been before and want to know what it's like, go and check them out as well. We will be doing another vlog this year. Can you believe it?
Okay, let's go.
We're very excited. 2000 Trees feels like home, and we're excited to go home. So I don't know where
And
I was going.
that's not just because it's 30 minutes down the road.
Yes. It doesn't hurt.
Who are you seeing at 2000 Trees?
Yeah.
Let us know.
And who did we miss?
Hmm.
When we were going through our Clash Finders, not watching them, and who did we miss?
To be fair, we mentioned pretty much every
Yeah,
single band on the lineup.
We've gone through a lot there.
So that's it, innit?
That's it.
Subscribe, comment, like, all the usual shit. We've got Ragamuffin Club, link in description. Come join the community and talk with other people that really love music. We've got t-shirts sale on the website, ragamuffin666.uk. If you're at Trees, come and say hello. Love chatting with people, and
We'll see you there.
See you there.
Easy treasy.
Easy Treasy. Whose trees are these? Whose trees are these? They are John Potts. You can tell by the rocks.
leaves.
Oh.
Okay.
You can tell it. You can tell it rocks because you can tell
that it rocks.
They are John Potts, you can tell
that it rocks. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I found them.
I found them at Upcut Farm.
Cheltenham. No, what's the festival guy's name?
James.
James
Surname?
Scarlet.
James Scarlett.
Yeah.
So go on.
Whose trees are
the
these?
annoying number of syllables.
Whose trees are these? They
They
are
are
John
James
Scarlett's.
James
You can-
Scarlett's.
Oh fuck! Fuck!
We'll figure it out by trees.
Oh, this is
DJ Flatfoot performing for one night only.
Who's picked
secret set.
Secret
the
set.
remix?
Secret set on Wednesday.
Stage time. Wednesday?
I reckon-
Wednesday?
Wednesday. Thursday.
Stage and time to be decided.
All right, sick.
Just follow the noise.